I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I was like as a kid. I don't think I was that funny. I don't think I was a particularly funny kid. Maybe to look at, but not really in terms of things I said. I think I was a dumb kid. You know those kids who have like their mouths open and were just like walking down the road? Like I was one of those ones. I think I lived in my imagination a lot. That's kind of
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Finnterviews. I'm your host Connor Finn, and this is a show where I get to chat to the most interesting people I know. You know the score by now, I know the score by now, and if you don't, you know what you have to do. You have to go and listen to some of the past episodes with some of the outstanding guests I've had so far on the show. Speaking of which, on the show this week, I was thrilled, as per usual, with every other guest, to welcome on the brilliant, the hilarious, the iconic Killian Sundermann onto the podcast. We talked about everything from growing up as a quote-unquote dumb kid in Dublin, living in New York, and being part of an activist choir, Killian's rise to fame in the Irish comedy scene over the pandemic, and his hopes for the future as honestly one of Ireland's hottest new comics. Killian was an absolute dream to interview. He is sound as a pound and just is mad creative in his stuff. If you haven't seen his videos, you've been living under a rock really over the last couple of years. He has just been hitting out of the park, and I was just so thrilled to sit down with him while I still have the chance. I hope you guys enjoy the first interview of 2023 with the brilliant Killian Sundermann. Well, welcome back to another episode of Finnterviews on the show this week. After much long anticipation, and some technical breakthroughs, I have on the show the brilliant Killian Sundermann. How's it going, Killian?
it's going good, and it's great to be here, online, on digital.
You sound like somebody who has no idea what the internet is. Are we on?
Yeah.
Is this the web? This is the web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's podcast? What does that mean?
Who are we? No, you're extremely welcome onto the podcast, Killian. Another podcaster in himself, technically. So, I guess we were saying we're a bit, we haven't done this in a little while. So, just got to be gentle with each other. It's like a first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done, I don't know, I guess there was like a dip off in podcast interviews, or maybe people just got sick of hearing my voice or something, but I wasn't asked to do a few for a while, but now I'm back. Can you hear my dog in the background? That's Woody's barking. I think he wants to be let outside. But yeah, no, it's nice to be back. It's nice to be talked to, and I need to tell my story. I have a story to tell here, so that's why I'm here.
That's right, Connor, get on with the show. Come on.
Yeah.
Enough of this chitter chatter. Come on. No, yeah. I suppose, Killian, for the rare occasion that I suppose somebody over the last couple of years, doesn't know yourself or find yourself come through me. That'd be weird. But like in the rare occasion somebody hasn't heard of you, maybe gives a real brief introduction, I suppose, where you're from, your background, what you're known for, because I was doing a bit of research and you've quite a lot of hats that you fit under, but like what you're known for, sketch comedian, I guess.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to explain all that.
Yeah, I make online comedy videos, I guess. That's my kind of background, but I've sort of moved into just sort of an overall comedian, or I just start calling myself a comedian. I think that's kind of how it works. Yeah. I don't know. There's lots of different words for different people. And, if you do stuff online, you kind of have the online moniker beside your name. But I'm not strictly just online anymore. And then I say, do I just work on TV? So I just started saying just comedian. And that's the moniker I'm taking. But I'm from Dublin. I have not been active on the Irish comedy scene very long. I kind of started making videos properly about, I don't know, when was it? In March 2020, and we all know what happened around then. So I was in the first lockdown, and I just started making comedy videos online, put them on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, and they started picking up. And I guess I've kind of just been doing that ever since, really. That's really it. I've just been building on that, and that's me.
that's basically all. You're very much underplaying it to a sense where, if anybody, I suppose it's obviously the last couple of years have been fucking just so strange for everybody, and I suppose you are kind of synonymous with this kind of like big push for, I suppose, online comedy and online kind of sketches, like supposed to be similar to like the likes of Mike Fry or Sean Burke. I mean, you're one of the kind of standout ones that like from the get-go was like, I was like, where are these people coming out of? Do you know what you're saying? Like, and especially for the Irish comedians. And I feel like, especially for yourself and that kind of community, it's been given so much more weight than, I suppose, in previous years. It might have just been like, oh, they just do their kind of stuff online. I feel like you especially, I mean, your videos going fucking viral all over the place. Like, it's not just, you know, a localized thing anymore. It's very much, you know, a global kind of community that you've created from like, you know, as you said, just be like, oh yeah, I just started posting up videos. Like, it's pretty big now.
Yeah, I remember getting some people writing that at the very start, like when I was putting my videos up and they were getting noticed, and I was putting them up regularly. Like, I wasn't just it wasn't just like one video would go up and then like a few. I was like putting them up all the time because it had nothing to do, and it became and I was doing it every week. And sometimes people would say like, where did this guy come from? Which I would get sometimes, and I would kind of like ask that question to myself. I'd be like, where did I come from? Like, what? Like, why am I suddenly
that's a bigger
deciding this is what I do? Like, I very quickly was like, it was a very quick jump for me to go, like, even I was just like, the first video did well, and I was like, okay, I'll do this now. Like, that's like, I was waiting for something. Like, I think I'd always had the idea that I'd do some sort of creative thing, and I've always done like music. I've always done some sort of performance art kind of stuff, and I was like, I always wanted my own thing that I would do sort of by myself. I never knew what it would be. And then it was very quick for me when I maybe had one or two videos that did very well. I was like, okay, it's this. And I started just making them every week and going like, this is my thing. I do this now. And it didn't take me, like, I didn't need to be told, like, you have to do this first, and you have to kind of get recognized, or you have to have a certain amount of followers, or you have to whatever, get a blue fucking tick beside your name. I just was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to give this a go. And that's how it sort of happened for me. Very randomly and out of nowhere, but very pleasantly and nice. And I guess, the person was like, where did this guy come from? I don't know. Tell me, please, if that person has any insights.
Nobody had that talk of me. I mean, it's been up in the air
right.
for years.
You are right. It was a weird thing that happened like over the pandemic. Like the comedy became a sort of thing. Like, you're right. Like Michael Fry and Sean Burke and Justine Stafford, Emma Dore, and all these different people, Shane Daniel Byrne, Tony Campwell, and they all kind of all friends of the show, of course. But they came out. It kind of happened, and I don't know. Why do you think that happened? I don't know.
Maybe we're on lockdown or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah.
No, but like, yeah. Especially, I feel like there has been such a humor with it, and especially with the likes of TikTok as well. That like, it's just such a pure breeding ground for like the most like niche, a strange sense of humor is that like,
yes,
like, I mean, trying to explain someone that's like essentially the job I'm in at the moment, like they'll be like, okay, like we need like, you know, Connor, you can obviously, you know, kind of take the TikTok and stuff like this, and like trying to even explain it to people that like are not engrafted in it, it's like trying to explain a whole etymology, a whole fucking like, you know, back science and thing. But you're like, well, like, see, that was berries and cream and little lad, but like now it's all about the snail that like it's been haunting you for millions of years, and if it touches you, you die. You know, like what kind of crackhead energy just breeds us, like where it's like normality in conversation, like but it's amazing.
It's a very special place. I'm a TikTok fan. I'm a big fan of TikTok. I think it's great. And I think it's that specific weirdness, which is what I'm attracted to, because somehow the algorithm finds your niche. And even if your niche is just like, I don't know, like a weird, I don't know, like cream getting poured into a bucket or something like that. You're just like, TikTok, that's my niche. Yeah. I like this. And TikTok will have it for you. Even for me, you know, like my videos that went big on TikTok that did well were like hedge reviews and Stonewall reviews and stuff like that, which are also like quite niche, but still managed to find a large audience on this website. So it's really, I like it a lot. It kind of has like, I don't know. I mean, obviously every social media has its bad sides, but TikTok seems to be, it's nice. It's controlled by Gen Z, you know, it's like the millennials are sort of the sort of loser old people on it, which, you know, I'm obviously one of them, but it's cool that they're in charge, like, and it's what they like becomes popular, and they have they're really like, we think we're insecure, like they're so like mental and like
Oh,
unhinged.
oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, like I still kind of like joke around with being like, oh yeah, like I mean, I am still young because like in every situation I'm like I'm just usually the youngest. And then I start
Yeah.
seeing them like, some people post up or whatever in TikTok be like, yeah, people born in the late like 1990s, and I'm like, wait, what? It's like that's what you consider old? Go fuck yourself. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
it is funny, like just how quickly this part just come, and then I'm just like in this like odd somewhere and being like, yeah, like I mean, sure, I know what Harry Potter house I'm in, but like I'm not that kind of like no, like
I know.
I'm over with this side as
Yeah, yeah,
well. But
yeah.
yeah, no, oh my god, just I mean, over last
I
year it's
love
kind of
Billie
been
Eilish.
yeah. As well, there's just no chill. Like, there's no like anybody being like, bit like, oh, we probably shouldn't say that. It's been like, no, it's like kind of funny.
Yeah,
It's ironic that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
like
yeah,
just being so blunt with you, or we're just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's,
yeah.
it's it's lovely. But I suppose,
It's
yeah,
entertaining.
you're kind of mentioned there as well. You kind of got into this through, I suppose, just look for something that like like just kind of have some output, I suppose. And
Mm.
I mean, it fucking very much landed itself like to your skill set. But like, so before all this, like, I was doing some little bit of research stuff, and you had
Mm.
quite an interesting background kind of before all of lockdown, and
Mm.
like, I mean, getting in TikTok, like you're in America as well, weren't you? You were kind of doing
Yeah.
like editing. I mean,
Mm.
I read Activist Choir. I mean, do go on.
Yeah, well, I'm a member of the Stop Shopping Choir. I don't know if people know about them, but Reverend Billy and the Stop Shopping Choir are an anti-capitalist, environmentalist, performance art community in New York City. And I lived in New York for about 2.5 years, and I was sort of welcomed into this activist choir. And basically, what we do is we go into the streets during protests, and we sing songs in perfect 4-part harmony, and we dance, and then Reverend Billy preaches about the evils of capitalism and the end is nigh and how to change our ways and all this kind of stuff. And it's really great. It's like performance art. It's part activism. It's part gospel choir. It's got a lot of different
It
aspects
ticks a
to it. But
lot of boxes.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I recently, I mean, obviously wasn't able to go to New York for a long time, but they actually toured in Europe recently, and I got to join them on their tour. And they're actually going to the COP, the Conference of Parties, which is happening in Glasgow, and I'm
So,
going over next week to perform with them again. So it's very exciting. We'll be in Glasgow, and some singing some radical songs to try and make some change, and maybe maybe we'll. I don't know. We'll sing. Greta Thunberg will be there. It's going to be great. We'll crowd surf Greta Thunberg.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but sorry, I love that you've just like got off that so casually. Like, I mean, like, has this just like kind of been like, obviously that's kind of like before, obviously the sketch making and stuff like this, which I'm glad
Yeah.
that you're still being able to do. I mean, with everything going on, but like
Mm.
it's kind of like like I love that this is just a separate part of your life. Where I mean, it was kind of, I was reading up, was it editing that you
Mm.
do as well, and kind of teaching English? Like,
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
my
your
job. Yeah,
background's
yeah,
in
yeah.
kind of media as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I studied film and broadcasting in DIT, or I guess it's TUD now, TUD. Keep it TUD. It was DIT when I was there. I did that with French, and I don't know. I mean, I guess like I never really knew what, like, you're in school, you're like 17 years old doing the leaving cert, and someone whispers in your ear like, "Hey, what do you want to do for the rest of your life?" And you're like, "I don't have a clue. Like, leave me alone. I'm trying to do this most stressful thing in the world.
Yeah.
You're giving me 7 exams that I have to do in like a week. What the fuck?" So I chose a course. I didn't really know what it was, and it was media, and that was, I mean, it's a technical university, so it was not even a university, an institute. So it teaches you a very like skill set, and my skill
Mm,
set was like able to get me jobs in the world of media, and that's what
mm,
I did. I was working as a video editor. I was making videos, a lot of like online videos. I did a lot of work as like social media managers for kind of like celebrities and activists, social media profiles and things like that. And it was just like, whatever work I could get. Really, it was that kind of thing. But then I ended up being like able to be a freelance video editor in New York, and I managed to bring that back to Dublin. But I mean, I wasn't getting much work over here, so I was also working as an English teacher as well, until the work built up. So I don't know. I'm just doing lots of different things like most people do in their 20s. I also worked in bars and restaurants and that kind of stuff. But you know the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're literally preaching to the choir. Like, I mean, I'm the exact same. I'm going to graduate a couple of years, and I was like, I'll do media. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. And then you're coming out and
Yeah.
be like, so what can you do for that? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I want
Yeah.
to do.
My friend, because we obviously you study film, like it's film school, really, where I went
Mm.
to. My friend Rob, who's in the year ahead of me, I was so surprised when I left college. I was like, no one needs a director. Like it was just
It's
where are all the
crazy.
jobs for a director?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, yeah, everybody like in the class, like surely you would have thought there would be like 100 directors just like consistently working
I
24/7,
know.
right? Yeah, that's just weird. Um,
Yeah.
oh God, but no, I know. Like, I suppose the reason I'm kind of asking this is like it's always interesting to see about people's backgrounds and kind of where they seem to form into it. And I mean, especially kind of with like online kind of creators or like people that have like
Mm,
kind of got big through this more digital space, it's kind of
mm,
interesting to see it be like trying to stitch together the streams of being like, wait, what kind of happened there? But I suppose for you, it kind of does lend itself quite easily, being like, okay, look, well, instead,
mm,
I suppose of maybe doing, other people's work or, or especially, other talent, maybe being on
mm,
screen, it's kind of, you're able to work with yourself on screen. I mean,
mm.
that kind of lends itself a wee
Yeah.
bit handier, like.
Yeah, well, I guess I mean, to be honest, like I'm an editor, so it's very easy for me to make video. I have that
Mm,
skill set like within me, and I knew that I could make things. And I had always thought about comedy, but only on like a sort of like write a script scale, where you're
yeah.
like you have an idea and you're like, oh, maybe I'd write a comedy script, but then how the
Mm,
fuck would you ever get that made? Like, seemed like maybe you had a funny idea for some sitcom, but that's never going to get made. So I was just like, it wasn't really a reality. And then I saw people like Tony doing their things, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, or Darren Conway as well, and they were just doing very like rudimentary things with their phones, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you don't need, all you actually need is the idea. You don't actually need the all the other stuff,
Yeah.
you just need the idea, and then people are very forgiving online, like if you want to just say I'm in Russia and I'm Vladimir Putin. You just like say you're in Russia and then have a little thing that says Vladimir Putin, and
People
then everyone's
believe
like,
it.
okay,
It's
I get
crazy.
it. It's Russia.
Yeah.
It's Vladimir. Okay, okay. You don't have to do anything, and so it's just like I realized that, and then I was like, oh, so you can just write around, the limitations of a
Mm,
phone being your main shooting
mm.
device, and once you write around that, it kind of becomes easy. So that was, I mean, and if people sometimes ask like ideas for getting into this kind of thing, it's just right around what you have in your own space. Like that's the
Yeah.
best thing you can do.
Well, that's what I was
Uh,
going to kind of touch upon because I suppose with your particular kind of like content as well and like humor that's like, is like, it's that irreverent kind of humor that's like right down my alley, I suppose, as well, where it's like, it's pulling on like the normal, like everyday things, but like just also in like a really strange kind of like perspective. Like I suppose like even like one of the most recent ones there that was like just so fucking stupid. Like in the best possible way. Like the Irish and German, offering things like be like, oh
yeah.
no, it's like I was going to kind of say like where does this kind of like inspiration for that kind of content come from? Like is there anything or like anybody that particularly influences you, or is it more or less being like a like just like one of those ideas that run the head and go like, oh no, I
Yeah.
can make this. I don't need the fucking funding or like the way that like through, as you said, with school, everybody's just being like, well, this is how everything's made, and you're going, shot this, shoot guys. You're like, no, I literally set up my phone and people will get it. Like,
Yeah, no, I think different ideas come from different spaces, but I definitely think cultural ideas that I get probably come from the fact that I am from a German family, but I grew up in Ireland. So I have, I think, an outsider's perspective on the country, that kind of thing. And
yeah,
I've grown up watching my dad try interact with Irish people, which is, I mean, that's a whole comedy sketch every day. He's like, he's become very Irish in its way, but watching my dad interact with Irish people is very, very funny to watch. And you notice immediately that this kind of clashing of these two different ways of being, I suppose, or ways of communicating. You notice immediately the funny idiosyncrasies of each culture. So I mean, I guess I'd be in my house as a kid, I suppose, and then watching my family do their way of doing things, and then I'd
mm,
go outside and I'd see the way Irish people would do things, and I'd be able to notice the difference. I suppose that's why I have an interest in kind of cultural idiosyncrasies. I think it's funny. And when I go to a different country, I always notice those things as well. I think they're funny. But then
Yeah.
I don't know, the hedge reviewing, I don't know where that comes from. Probably some sort of mental illness. I don't know.
Undiagnosed, but we're going to find out soon, kids. It's only a matter of time, yeah, until people start just commenting on the videos. I think it might be.
Diagnosis.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I suppose, like, I mean, would have this kind of always, like, even like when you're younger, like, would you always kind of notice these different things? Like, would you been like a quiet kid growing up in school? Like, because I feel like you need to kind of have that, like, observational kind of humor always to be like, to take things in, and then to like, especially when you kind of create those characters, to kind of be like, oh, this is where I'm going to go with this. Like, I suppose the reason
Yeah.
it's people I talk to, like Emma Doran, that've been like, it's whenever you're like
Yeah.
the youngest in the family and you just kind of observe, so you know how to survive, but then you also know how to take the piss out of everyone. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
There seems to be a lot of observational kind of humor.
Yeah. I guess I think like I'd often do. I think we all would do my dad. Like we do him a lot. Like I often do his impression of him. Like okay, yeah, I'm doing it in my head, realizing what I said there. But I mean, I did impressions of my dad. But yeah, I mean, I like often do impressions of my dad. I think that would kind of be something I do. But I don't know if I was like I don't know if I am observational comedian. I guess like it's hard to kind of pinpoint yourself down because you don't really know. It's hard to kind of think about that in that kind of way. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I was like as a kid. I don't think I was that funny. I don't think I was a particularly funny kid. Maybe to look at, but not really in terms of things I said.
Honestly, I've just blacked out the last like 20 odd years. It's been who knows? You're like childhood. I don't remember. It must have been great then.
Yeah, it was lovely. I had a great time. Yeah, but I was a bit of I think I was a dumb kid. You know those kids who have like their mouths open, we're just like walking down the road. Like I was one of those ones. I think I lived in my imagination a lot. That's kind of it's hard to remember. It's like when you can't remember a dream because I think I lived in dreams for 10 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're just off in your own little space, and it's now like, I mean, it's essentially been that. Now people are just pulling you onto podcasts now that you're being like, oh, fuck, now I actually like, I have to like talk about it. Oh god. Ken, this is a real world right now. Ah, no. You're fine. You're crazy.
This sucks. Get me out of here. What's tax? I don't like
that. Boring. But I suppose, like, I mean, the reason I kind of like bring up this like, kind of inspiration, kind of seeing where things are pulling through, it's kind of interesting to see like how people come to like these like ideas for their content and stuff like this. I suppose a lot of the ones that I would reach back to would kind of be with things like past jobs that people have done or kind of past experiences. Basically character building opportunities. I don't know if there be any kind of things that I suppose maybe you living this I mean life, traveling around, maybe it's that's been like a big character kind of build thing for you.
Yeah. I'd say, I don't know, I guess like I definitely think working as an English teacher with like people from lots of different countries and also standing in front of a room full of people and managing them and entertaining them, because that's what you have to do. Like that's a job that I really thought was very good. Like I think that's a job that like a lot of people should do. In the same way that I think everyone should probably work in the service industry for a couple of years to just know, to just know what that's like and to have at least some grain of empathy.
A little bit. Yeah. Just a bit.
Like that should be a form of conscription, that you should work in the service industry. But yeah, I mean, I think I learned a lot from those kind of jobs, and you can learn a lot. And I mean, like they're good jobs. I mean, like I really enjoyed being an English teacher, and I'd love to do it again. But yeah, like I mean, I guess like meeting different people from lots of different countries and like understanding other people's experiences and stuff like that. I find that really valuable. I mean, not like just lending to comedy, but just lending to how to live your life and how to kind of, I don't know, understand the world, I suppose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it is. I mean, that's really how to live an honest life, I suppose.
Yeah, it often lends itself really nicely whenever you're like appreciative and accepting of other cultures. Like,
yeah. I mean, you can obviously do the other thing. Like you won't be well liked.
Yeah, there's no roadmap. Who knows? Yeah, I suppose like from all of that and where you kind of came to now, have there been any well, I suppose it has been a bit of a whirlwind, but have there been any major standout moments that have kind of came from what has been this new kind of, I mean, recognition as a comedian, as an online comedian? I mean, has there been any like things so far? I know you're about to say this podcast, and I was about to just cut you off there, Killian, but like, apart from,
so I have to think of something else.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Apart from Finnterviews, I mean, has there been any like major kind of things that you've went like, oh wow, well, this is unexpectedly nice?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, so many things are bizarre. I mean, the very idea that I'm making a living currently off what I do. That's in itself a very bizarre thing and mad concept to me. But I mean, especially like the people I've worked with, I think it's just amazing. Like I did some work on Callan's Kicks with Oliver Callan, who's someone I listened to for years. I got like messages from like Dara O'Brien, who's just like such a huge person and kind of like my upbringing and comedy and stuff like that in Ireland and everything. I've laughed so much at that man. He wrote a really, really nice message or a tweet. I say message to make it sound more official, but it was a tweet. He wrote a really beautiful letter.
Handwritten notes, yeah.
He did a public announcement. He did a press conference. It was really beautiful. But no, he mentioned me, Michael Fry, and Justine Stafford as being these, like, I don't know, he said these new young generation of Irish comedians, which I honestly I was looking at it just like amazed. I was like, I can't believe that man is somewhere and he wrote that about me. I was really bizarre.
Yeah,
and,
I may be paraphrasing.
It really blew me away.
I think he said prodigy. I don't know.
I mean, I view him as a young me. That's what he said. I think. No, that was amazing. And then, like, I don't know. Yeah, I've gotten some really nice messages from really nice people who I really respect and also admire myself. So it's really like, that's really bizarre and lovely to see that happen.
Yeah, and I suppose like yeah, it's really good. No, like, and even like with the likes, I suppose, of like, it's kind of taken so much as is there a dog?
No. He's coming. He's gone. He's gone. There's no dog. Woody.
No, never mind. No. I don't know why I thought. But like, I suppose, like, yeah, even like with the likes of, as you said, it's kind of like taking things out, like, you're creating content online that, especially at some of the start times, you're probably going like, oh, who's watching this or who's seeing this, and then when it's kind of brought into like reality whenever you're getting messages from people like Dara or like being invited onto even like, I suppose, with this like sketch like kind of shows and stuff like this. I know there's like Darren and Joe's like you're going to be featuring that, which is coming out tomorrow. Wow, a little plug there.
Can we plug that? Can I do a quick plug here?
Yeah, I'd like for
to plug. Thank you. But yeah, no, like, so as to say, like, that also working with Darren and Joe and Jer Walsh as well, they're amazing, and they've been making some of the best Irish comedy for, I don't know, like at least 4-5 years or something. They've been doing some amazing stuff, and it was really great to see, even just to see their process and learn from them, and then to be involved in a sketch, which I really enjoyed making. And then they've been given like a chance, an opportunity with RTE to make this show, and it's called Free Gaff. It's out tomorrow, but I mean, I guess we don't know what the times are with in terms of these things coming out.
Going out, Killian.
It's not going out. This is actual. This is just a conversation. But it's out. It's probably out now on the RTE player, and it's really good. So I mean, I definitely recommend going to watch it. It's got 4 episodes, I think it is, with Justine Stafford, Tony Cantwell, Jen Hatton, and my humble self, and
me,
little old me, and I think it's a real doozy. I think it's going to be really good. So,
well, I mean, a doozy will, what a doozy will. No, exactly that. I suppose that's kind of where it brings it back into like the reality kind of scheme of it, where it's like, oh, it's like, this isn't just like a lockdown project. This is like longevity to it. And I suppose even with that as well, like, I mean, from the flip side of it, like, all these like amazing things that kind of like came to your sense, I suppose, as you said, like this is like your job now. It's essentially, do you know what I mean? You're being like, okay, this is sick. But like, have on the other side of it, I suppose, have there been any kind of like horror stories or any kind of like fall downs that I suppose like have came from working as like, you know, basically a digital creator, you know, slash comedian, or has it been relatively all good?
I think it's relatively been all good. I definitely think that like the stress levels of things get higher when the things get, I don't know what word you use, but like bigger or whatever. Like you can't have like anxieties about things in a way that you didn't think you would, about like writing a tweet or something can become sometimes can become a scary thing.
Yeah,
or
that's
like
what I was
people
gonna
saying
say.
mean
Kind of
things to you, you know,
with like
that's
a bigger audience. Does that kind of become like a thing as well, where you're being like, oh, okay, I'm aware that people will interact with this now, so it kind of puts an added pressure on. You're like, I mean, I can shit to post and stuff like that, but
yeah.
like now you're kind of thinking of it more in like this is like a, you know, a kind of stand-in kind of for me.
Yeah, but I guess like I don't know how it wouldn't affect me that much in terms of like I never really used to put like that kind of stuff online. Anyway, but I definitely like on my Instagram, like maybe if I saw like a really nice tree, I would take a photo of that tree and kind of go, oh, nice tree. But I wouldn't do that now because I don't know, I'd be worried people just be like, what the fuck is this guy? You know, like, who do you think you are, Ansel Adams? Like, but no, I mean, I guess there is that just the idea of being in the public sphere can be a kind of at moments can be a little bit I don't know, you have to just think about it sometimes, because if you post something, sometimes you post something about like fucking Brexit, you know that there are those fucking Brexit people who will find it because you put that word in the title, and they will, because they're, you know, they're nut jobs, they will like say shit to you, and no matter how hardened or whatever you are, like if someone's saying you're an ugly prick or you're a dumb fuck or whatever, like that's gonna it's very hard to read that and go, oh, that means nothing to me. It's like it's still an aggressive interaction, you know. Yeah,
you guys have
exactly,
no power over me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm ugly. You're calling me ugly.
God, they're good at their jobs.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you do think about that, and you do get mean messages from time to time. But what you gonna do? You know, that's all part of it.
If it don't pay your bills, don't pay no mind. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Rent free.
God. Yeah. I keep trying to not like laugh too much, like just like not squealing through an entire podcast. I've done fucked it up again. But I suppose, yeah, with all of this in mind as well, and I am conscious that of this is like your evening stuff, and you are man flat to the mat, I suppose. I mean, you got your big show coming out tomorrow. God, you're going to be run off your feet. But like, what does the kind of future hold for yourself? Like, Kelly, like, I mean, as you said, from there, it's evolved into something that you didn't really expect to when it started off. You're already getting great response from other people. Like, I know we were kind of talking there as well. Like, obviously, you're going over to like Scotland next week and stuff like this. But like, I mean, where's this kind of like look to go? Like, is it kind of like, right, now things are opening up, stand up, or is it like, oh, maybe I want to create like a full show, like, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of like where, like, I suppose a lot of the other kind of people I've talked to have been like, once it's online, like translating that into the real world is kind of the next step forward. I don't know if you see that as like a similar thing. Or...
Yeah, 2 words: Love Island. Yeah.
Damn. Thanks so much, Killian. It's been a pleasure interviewing you.
Love Island 2022. Okay.
You heard it here first.
No, yeah, those, I mean, I guess like longer form comedy would be great. And that would lend itself into stand-up, or that would be on I don't know, like, I mean, things don't, people say telly, but it doesn't have to be telly anymore, does it?
Yeah, that's what
like,
I mean.
You know, kind of something with, I'd love something with a story. Like, I like stories, and I'd like to kind of maybe do stuff like that. Or, yeah, I mean, like live stand-up would be amazing, or improv even. I used to do a bit of improv. I did an improv course. I don't know why I say it like I used to do a bit of improv, but I mean, I did an improv course in New York for
I paid
6 weeks.
millions.
Yeah.
It was very extortionate.
But it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So I'd like to maybe get into that a bit. But just, I guess, I suppose for me, I feel very part of like this Irish comedy scene that's happened online, and I've made a lot of friends. But I'd really like to move into like kind of physical sort of scene of it, and kind of meet people, and it's share ideas, and that like having your own ideas and making your own videos is all well and good, but doing stuff with other people is like even more interesting. It's even more fun.
Yeah.
And even like on the stuff we've done with the Young Hot Guys, like that kind of stuff has been great. Like working with Darren and Joe, that's been amazing. And it's been like really cool doing that kind of stuff. So I'd like to do more kind of collaboration work as well. I think that's also another thing I'd like to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when's the band coming back together? Honestly, the Sleaze. God.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, we're back. We're back together. I mean, we were never apart. It was just like oh, no, we had a global pandemic, but like we couldn't play legally. It was illegal. We were banned. But now we're back. We had a gig. We had a gig last month. We opened for the Scratch, who were, I think, the best live act in Ireland at the moment. They're unbelievable. But we opened for them. And so second best live act, I guess, is what we were. But I think that's how the maths work. But yeah, we're the Sleaze. We're a rock band from Dublin, and we're playing, I think, a gig on the 3rd of December in the Bello Bar. If people want to get tickets for that, it's going to be a doozy. It's the second doozy of the pod.
There's a lot of doozies happening here tonight.
It's going to be a real doozy. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I suppose that's basically, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where things are opening up now. There's actually opportunity to, as you said, collaborate with other people, go out, kind of do gigs and stuff like this as well. I mean, go fucking like sing over like with like the Activist choir, like Glasgow, do you know what I mean? Like shit's happening, baby. Everything's coming.
Yeah. Cases are rising, and so is my career. No, I don't know. But they are. It's weird the way I don't know. We're like the cases are going up so hot. I don't want to talk too much about that kind of stuff. Obviously, I don't want to bring that down. But it is weird the way we're all just kind of like, it's okay. Let's just go to the and we're enjoying like being beside each other again. It's so nice. So we kind of have put the blinkers on, I think, a little bit. I have anyway.
Oh no, on Thursdays that like I like I'm literally just back from London as well, and like being from London and coming back, I was like, like whoopsies, Connor.
People like, so I might walk in and my dad would be like, "Did you hear about the how many K?" And I'm like, "What about what? I have to go upstairs." I'm just being really like bad about it. I know I'm being wrong, but it's so nice to go to concerts again.
Yeah, I mean, starting off with like a thing, a conversation without having to mention the big C word is stunning. Like, I mean,
yeah. Well, look, and now we're at the end, and I haven't mentioned it. I'm sorry.
It's comedy was the C word that COVID.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Of course. Yeah. The more damaging C word.
But no, I suppose like Killian, with everything kind of coming up, I mean, it's all going to be go, and I suppose it's going to be all mental. But before that even starts, and I actually let you plug your shit, I like to play a little game. I've kind of been writing down odds and ends, little words here. I wouldn't wonder if you play a little word association game with me just before I let you go.
Of course, yeah. And I was on a long drive there the other day, and we were practicing word association.
Oh,
games.
So you're familiar.
So, well, I'm just gonna say I think I might be pretty good at this. So just
Okay, well,
I feel I might be quite good.
Okay, people sometimes say that, so we'll leave it up to that. Don't come into this thinking who you think you can just fucking waltz on in here and play word association with me. Yeah, just that fucking.
Oh, you're pro. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know who I was talking to.
Yeah, sorry, my north side's coming out. But like north of Ireland, yeah. So yeah, it is.
Exactly.
See, there's a lot of tropes.
Okay.
It's
layered.
Yeah. Okay. So are we ready for a little bit of word association? Okay. It's going to be really quick fire. All I want is the word associated. If you have to think about it, I will strike another €1,000 off this invoice. So
Oh God, minus 1,000. I owe you money.
That's how it works. That's why I love this game, baby.
Wait, this is a ruse. I've just been conned.
Okay, so are you ready to go?
Okay,
sweet. No, these are easy, okay? But like, first and foremost, Dublin.
Ireland.
English teacher.
Wait, is English teacher one of them?
English teacher, yeah.
France.
New York.
City. Damn it, these are shit. No, not the word. My responses are crap. I thought I was good at this.
No, this is irrelevant. Fuck you, Killian. TikTok.
Numbers.
Freak off.
Darren and Joe.
The Sleaze.
Rock and roll.
Jedward.
Friends.
And Finnterviews.
The best podcast in the world.
Oh, I can't look at someone every time I say it because it's so tripe. It's so like leading. And usually they're like, to be fair, at least you actually like capped off really quick. A lot of people are being like, interviews, hate them. And then I'll be like, what? No. And it's like, no, it's the name of the podcast, like interviews. And then they have to do like a whole, oh, yeah, like cool. I don't fucking care.
No, I've done some work with PR and marketing, so I knew where that was going.
Oh,
Can I change my ones for Dublin, Ireland? Because that's just New York City. I go Dublin, I would say
didn't say yes,
Molly,
okay.
Molly Malone. I would say Molly, Dublin,
Okay.
Molly Malone.
Yeah.
And New York City, I would say Chrysler.
Chrysler.
Okay? As in the Chrysler building. I love it so much.
Oh, okay.
So that they're the mic. I'm changing those two just so as you know. And the and the Finnterviews one, you know, like, can I change that one as well? I said the best podcast in the world.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to. Thank you so much for coming on. No, I suppose, Killian, if anybody has been listening to this and this is their first time discovering you. Again, have they been living under a rock? But where can they still keep up with all your bits that you're doing? Where can they find you? What's the best place to see everything that is up and coming, Killian Sundermann?
Well, first and foremost, go check out Free Gaff on the RT player. It's really good. And then you can find me at Killer Sunday on TikTok and Instagram, and at Killer Sunday Man with 2 N's at the end of it on Twitter. So that's where you can find me.
And like, what
or
about...
you can ramble around Dublin. You'll probably bump into me at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is there like an address, like, or like an air code, or like...
postcode, an air code? Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, I think I legally don't think I can answer that.
Okay. Didn't know you were a lawyer, but okay. No, Killian, it's been an absolute pleasure. Again, anybody that I reach out to, the fact that they even sit down and say, yeah, I'll chat to this random kid on the internet, I'm like delighted with. So thanks so much for giving up your Tuesday evening to sit down and have a bit of crack with me. It's been an absolute dream.
It's been lovely, and thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sir. Well, have yourself a wonderful evening, and yeah, best luck with everything going on in the future, right?
Thanks so much, and you too.
See you later. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Finnterviews. Please do remember to give me a 5-star rating, comment, like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on whatever platform you're on. All that stuff really does help. And if you feel like being extra generous and never want to miss a moment of Finnterviews, or we do this other thing called the Fintervention, it's really funny, you can follow me on socials. Just type in Finnterviews online and you'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all the good stuff in all the best places. And you can get in touch and let me know who you would like to hear on the podcast next. Thank you so much for tuning into the very first Finnterview of 2023. Jesus Christ. And yeah, keep tuning in and never miss more of the year. I guess that's my spiel. Yeah. Thanks. See you later. Bye.